Really thought we've kind of exhausted all of the phone case ideas. And then OpenCase reached out and sent me this phone case for my iPhone, and it is a little bit different. So let's take a look. Owner of OpenCase actually reached out to me and said, do you want to try out my new iPhone case? This was actually part of a Kickstarter campaign, I believe, that has now actually gone into production. So what you're actually looking at here is the OpenCase. And the feature of this case that makes it a little bit different than the rest of them you might have seen is that there is this big hole in the back. So when you go to put it on your phone, you have the back end of the phone actually out in the open to attach any kind of accessories or anything else you want to the back of the phone via the Magsafe compatibility. So what actually makes this case unique? It's the fact that this opening, while it does actually kind of look good because you see the back of the phone, actually has a purpose. It creates this lip around the entire edge of the back of the case so that when you put your Magsafe compatible accessories on the back of the phone, they don't slip. So let's look at a couple examples. These are all the OpenCase accessories. They do claim that most of your Magsafe accessories that you already have should work as well. So first off, we have a wallet. And as you can see, it just clips right in. Now it has a strong magnet attachment, but what really is the selling point here is the fact that that wallet cannot move within the case. And then when you want to release it, you just pull it right off the back of the case. Then you also have one of these like pop-it things that people commonly use to actually hold on to their phone. And then also there's a blank plate in case you just want to have a normal looking iPhone case. And then I actually have my little hard drive holder here that we could test out to make sure that it still works with some other accessories. And it does. It actually fits right on the back of the case and it doesn't slide as promised. So guys, what do I actually think of this iPhone case from OpenCase? First off, I do like the fact that it actually does hold the MagSafe compatible accessories still on the back of the phone. Especially if you're not using a case and you actually put these accessories on the back of the glass of the phone, it really does like to slide around a little bit and can fall off with use. Especially with some of these heavier accessories like this hard drive setup, it can really slide around pretty easily. Then you add to the fact that I actually have this cable attached to the phone, it makes this for a lot more secure environment to actually use a hard drive on the back of the phone when you're recording video and photos. Overall, it does have a nice anodized finish around the camera bump. It does feel pretty soft to the touch. It says it's a soft touch leather. It does feel premium enough for my needs. I would like to see a little bit more of a finished edge around the opening on this. I could see over time where this might start to try to fray, but overall it's been pretty durable for my use, so it's not a huge worry. The one thing I do notice is that this is part of kind of a first gen release. It's straight out of Kickstarter, and as you notice, this little pop-it thing looks like it's really 3D printed. Now, I don't really use these all that often, so it's not a big deal to me, but if this is an accessory that you really want to use full time, be aware that when you open this out of the box, you're going to see that it is a 3D printed product, and it probably will, if quantities get high enough, be something they can mass produce. But for the meantime, you're gonna get something that looks like it came off a 3D printer. And then overall, the other accessories were nice. They kind of come in that same material that you get the iPhone case in. So it is good enough for normal use, and it has a nice kind of soft touch to it. Me personally, when it comes to the blank plate, I'm not really sure that I would put it on all that often. First off, to be able to get it off, they do have a notch on the top of here. So when you do put it onto the iPhone, even though it does fill up the entire kind of open area of the case, you're left with this hole up here that kind of looks out of place. I personally prefer just the open look, especially with a black phone. I actually kind of enjoy it. Sometimes I wonder if we just cover up too much of the phone with these cases when they put all that time into designing it. Now, one of the downsides also to this is you're only going to be able to get this for iPhone 14, 15, and 16. Obviously, with a lower production run in a company that's just starting up, they can't make one of these for every single phone out on the market. But if you are in a 14, 15, or 16, take a look at the website and you can get some of these accessories and the case itself in several different colors. And then another selling point of the case is they say they actually kind of keep your overall setup 2.5 millimeters thinner, because when you put the MagSafe compatible accessories on the back, it's actually recessed into the case and directly on the phone. Now, that's not a huge difference. I don't really notice it when I put some of my accessories on, but it is something to mention. Also, they say that this is a lighter case than usual for obvious reasons. Your other leather cases are going to be heavier because they have material here in the back of the phone. And then when it comes down to price, you're basically looking at $55 for the max version of this case. And then you're gonna have various pricing kind of ranging from anywhere between $20 to $45 on the accessories if you order them from OpenCase. And of course, like I mentioned before, you can use your existing Apple Wallet, and other accessories with this case as well. So overall thoughts here, guys. I really do kind of like the open back look to this case on the phone. I feel like we really hide too much of the design work that goes into an iPhone with cases these days. So seeing the back glass here through the opening is actually pretty nice. 2, I do really like this setup for when I'm using my external hard drive when I'm recording video. It is a little bit heavier setup and it likes to move around because of the cable kind of pulling on the phone a little bit. So having this case on the phone when using that hard drive makes it a lot easier setup. That's a lot more secure and I don't have to worry about the hard drive actually moving. Overall, I think the construction of the case is pretty good. It is a soft touch leather. It is not going to feel as premium as some of the premium leather options out there. Again, I kind of chalk that up to being first gen of this release, but overall for $55, you get what you would expect from a quality standpoint out of this phone case. And then as mentioned, you do run into a little bit of first gen release here with a 3D printed holder, but the other accessories made out of the leather material ended up pretty well. So guys, I want to hear what you think down in the comment section below. Is this something you can see yourself using? I will link everything down in the description below. And if you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to Rob Sutton for more reviews like this in the future. And until then, on to the next one. Thanks guys, see ya.